around here they say the robin has to get snowed on twice. We've had robins back for over a week and a half now, and they've definitely got 2 snowfalls. So with any luck, this is it.
Hello?
Hey, can you make sure you bring the staple gun out when you come?
Oh yeah, I will.
Thank you. Bye. Hey, Speedy Gonzalez. They did not do very good on their scraps. Let's give those scraps to the pigs. We need to get these gates that are in here. All these fence sections that are in here are going to get moved out to the manger in that far back corner. Okay? So you want to do regular chores, Tommy? And Finn and Pete? I think it's going to be easiest. We can't even open this. Oh wait, we can open this. Let's start trying to figure out how to open this gate. Yeah, so they're probably tied somehow, so we need to find those ties and cut them. You got your knife, Pete? Is that first one tied?
This one is.
I don't see it. Oh, it's right there.
Hey.
All right, you're going to pick it up and walk it to the back of the manger.
Go. Royal.
You can see the chickens have been roosting on that. I want to get these gate sections out of here before we farrow in this stall again. Last year we had a few piglets that would get in behind these extra gates and get themselves lost or stuck, and nobody wants to hear a squealing piglet or see anybody in distress. We also had a chicken that got trapped in between 2 of them, upside down. So it's been a liability for too long. We're going to get it cleaned up and make this stall a little bit safer for everybody. How you doing with Royal, Tommy? He's trying to feed 1 dairy cow alongside 9 of her closest beef cattle friends who all would love to get in on that grain. But we don't give any of our beef cattle any grain. They are grass-fed only. Royal is a Jersey and doesn't do as well eating grass only or hay only. Good morning, Wallcat.
But I almost wish I would have.
Good thing you carry a jackknife, Pete.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That looks straight.
Straight enough.
Bottom on yourself, maybe on this side. Go, pick it up. How do I feed guineas?
They get a little bit of cracked corn
Over there?
over there-ish. I would go through the manger though, so your beef cattle don't take it all. And Tommy, if the guineas are not in the barn, I do not feed them. I figure they're out foraging.
what you want to do?
One of the hazards of the job. Chicken poop on my hand. I want it laying nicely on the floor so that I can walk all the way to the back.
Show Tommy. Tommy, you're gonna shoot. Guys.
You can't help it. The pigs have this black hen trained to lay an egg in their nest, and then they eat it. So instead of laying in the nest box, she lays in the pig pen and gives them one egg every day. Not sure I approve of that system, but sort of clever. Everybody's staying pretty close in the barn today. Our cows don't mind the cold, but they really don't like the wind. They're all hanging out in here today, which means we'll have an entire barn to muck out. Lovely. This is a really nice start to manifesting our homestead vision, the part about organization and processes and routines. That should be pretty helpful. I like to make checklists. So every piece of manifesting our homestead vision that we've put into play so far has already come back and proven to be really effective and really helpful. For example, we talked about building a support network and doing favors for other people so that when it's your turn, they will be wanting to help you. We watched that farm for our neighbors maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. And the other day, Zach came up and wanted to know if he could plow our garden. He had just finished his and the weather was decent. And that was awesome. That saved us probably a week of rototilling because we don't have an implement like that for the back of our tractor or a small enough tractor that we want to be driving in our garden. So that's been awesome to see those good deeds that we've put out already coming back to us and repaying us. Next, we put into play some routines and some processes, and I posted them in the barn. And this morning, as I was going over the checklist with Tommy, he said, "Feed the guineas. How do you feed the guineas?" So that told me for the last probably close to a year, he's been on AM chores lots of times by himself. He's not been feeding the guineas. Now that happens to not be a real big deal because the guineas are huge foragers and they're probably pretty spoiled by me giving them a little bit of cracked corn in the barn in the winter. But I feel like it's a nice touch. I thank them for everything they're doing for us on the farm, but apparently I'm the only one thanking them. Tommy was not doing that. He didn't know that was part of the process. And sometimes you can blame kids for not taking pride in their work or not doing it up to your standards, but so many times in our house we get so busy and there's just so many children that the process falls apart because no one knew the process or no one knew the expectations or what my standards were. So I'm really putting in effort to make sure that they understand what it is I expect of them before I start critiquing them on the job that they're doing. We do it in the house as well. The kids have had jurisdiction list for a long time, and at least in the house I can follow up and inspect their work until I can trust them. We also have a lot of the processes written down. So for example, on the side of our washer, we have the process written down right there so that everybody knows that you must empty the lint from the dryer before you start it.
What?
Where'd you get those shoes?
Well, I went down in the basement to go for my...
So you needed to wear the ankle breakers to the basement?
Yeah, because I didn't want to go find boots.
Aha. All right, I'm gonna go out and do maple syrup, so I need them. Because that bag leaks. So everything in that jug is good.
Really?
Yeah. Is it full?
Oh, decent one, right? Do you have more bag?
Yeah. So I want to keep that bag separate from the other bag because I'll throw that out. That hole might continue to leak sap for another 2 to 3 weeks, but then it'll heal up. We'll be able to tap again next year in a different area. This is the area we tapped last year. People in the business call these belly buttons. You made a card for Dad. Can I open it? Dad and I have to open it together. Can I please open it now just to see?
Yeah.
Mom and Dad. Holy moly. Who's the guy with the giant head? Dad? And then am I the lady in the cage? I love it. Who's the other lady in the cage? Does Dad have 2 wives? He does?
That's Grandma.
Oh, that's Grandma. He keeps Grandma in one cage and me in the other?
Yeah, because Grandma's his mom.
Oh, that's Grandma Annette in that cage. And me in this cage. And Dad with the big head in the middle. I just love it, Regan. That's a special card. So this is a prime example of why we are organizing this year. This was my maple syrup storage supplies for the past 2 years. So to start with, I keep everything nicely contained in a wet Amazon box full of hay and probably some other treasures. We've got a old shopping bag. Not even sure what I have kept in there. Oh, a tap that is also wet. It's fantastic. Okay, so we're gonna get rid of this. Try to deal with our disgusting box. Getting hay all over my pantry. All right, so this guy's coming out. These are coming out. Coming out. Oh, this is excellent. One 1-gallon Ziploc bag with a special tinfoil ball inside. Not sure what the thought process there was. Another tap and 2 more bags full of hay that are wet, that have never been used. Truth be told, when we first moved here, I thought we'd have a lot of maple trees, and turns out we don't. On the entire 60-acre farm, we have 2 maple trees. I bought enough taps for 4 because I planned on tapping the 4 trees in the yard. Only later did my grandfather tell me that only 2 of those were maple. The other 2 were locust. So in keeping with our theme of organization, I'm going to pull everything out of the old maple syrup storage box and create a new maple syrup storage area after I clean everything we have and take a look at it. I did throw out one of my blue bags that we used this year because I noticed it was leaking. Probably the old system, the old style, I would have just crumpled that bag up and thrown it in, and we would have had the same problem next year. So hopefully this is going to pay off. Will you hold this bag like this? Drip it down my arm. Come lower.
Fill it up.
Well, I feel like I never get all the soap out then.
Right.
Better.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
He said if we did miss a class, like he said if you can miss them all, then you'll just go back with the class from where you ended last.
2, 3, 4, 5 also.
Hey, good job.
Oh, we gotta have macaroni.
Alright, well, give it then. I didn't know if you were sick of macaroni. We want one more option.
That looks a whole lot better than our crazy cardboard box.
Yeah.
Just gonna cover this with a cookie sheet so we don't get any more debris than what we already have in there. We are not going to boil down our sap today because I ordered filters and have not received them yet. Last year we did this without good filters and we had a lot of sediment, I think they call it niter, in the bottom of our jars of syrup. So hopefully we'll be able to reduce that if we use the proper filter, which won't come for 3 or 4 days. So it's gonna sit out here in a clean bucket with some sort of a lid on it so that, again, it doesn't get anything else in it. So it's just awesome to see that I have hope that we're gonna go from bumbling homesteaders to organized, lean, routine, process and checklist kind of homesteaders that are efficient and spend their money wisely and have an organized farm. I'm super excited for it. The piece that we're implementing today is more organization. So for example, we've had those gates in that first farrowing pen since we moved here, 2.5 years. And I've had animals in there and I farrowed pigs in there. And I really don't think it was super safe. I don't think it was the highest quality for my animals. It certainly wasn't organized. I'm sure my grandfather didn't appreciate all the chicken poop all over all of his gates because that's where my chickens are roosting. So we'll add that to another day where I have the boys scrub those off or help them scrub them off. They were not too excited about moving the gates. I'm sure scrubbing the chicken poop off the gates is really not going to be very exciting. Maybe I'll save that for a punishment, for a consequence if somebody's being too mean to their brothers. That might be a really good one. So that's the piece that we're implementing today, organization. And we did this yesterday in the house. I've been slowly going through the entire house trying to organize and get rid of clutter and group like things together so that when we need to start a project, we can actually find everything we need. This will definitely be ongoing for the outside and for the farm area as well. So we have chicks ordered and coming in June, and my brooder area is a complete mess. It's a total hotspot for things to be set on, and it's gonna take a lot of digging out and reorganizing before I can safely put chicks in there. So I'm super excited that I got that tiny little barn project done. I've been wanting to get that farrowing pen ready, even though she's not ready to farrow for another 2 months. It's nice to know that I'll have really minimal work to do in there. So we've still got a lot more organizing and work to do, but I feel good about what we got done today. Every day, improving a little bit, getting a little bit better. Have a blessed day.